So what should the Seahawks do with Geno Smith after this season? This is Geno Smith's fourth season in a row. He's taken a one-year contract extension, and that's probably because he wanted to prove a point. Could I be a starter? Now, many of us thought when the Seahawks traded Russell Wilson and brought in Drew Lock that Drew Lock was going to be the starting quarterback, and myself included. And on our podcast, the Seattle Sports on Tap Seattle podcast, I was adamant that Drew Lock was going to win the job and Geno Smith would have another season as the backup quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. And then no, we watched preseason, we watched training camp, and Pete Carroll kept saying Geno Smith right now is the starter. He's winning the competition, and we thought it was all smoke and mirrors. Boy, were we wrong. Geno Smith won the starting job, it looks like, for a reason, and now he's playing really good football at being one of the highest-rated quarterbacks in the NFL this season, and he's even getting like MVP buzz in some places. Not that I think he's going to win the MVP, but we've heard of MVP buzz. Let Geno cook campaigns are happening around the country. People really are liking this Geno Smith Renaissance story, and we haven't really seen that much in the NFL, where a player has been on the bench for multiple years and comes back, becomes a viable starter, especially at the quarterback position, which seems like either A, you find out the quarterback is going to be good really quick, or B, you find out the quarterback's not going to be good very quick. But this has been a rare and interesting circumstance, and I think if we franchise tag them after the season, we'd have to pay $45 million for that one-year franchise tag, and I don't think that's what the Seahawks should do. So I was thinking, what should the Seattle Seahawks do after the season if Geno Smith continues to play like this? Because you can't give him $45 million a year franchise tag, because what? That's equivalent of a 3-year, $12 million deal. I don't know exactly how salary caps work in the NFL, but let's just say something like that. In general, we have to be more smart. I think the best thing you can do with Geno Smith is make an incentive-ridden deal and make it a 2 or 3 year deal if he continues to play like this. He's bet on himself. If he continues to play like this, let's reward him for his loyalty. Let's reward him for having a good season, but let's not break the bank. An incentive-ridden deal. And I would even structure it this way. 3 years for up to $55 million for Geno Smith. That's a pretty good number for a quarterback. Now, I wouldn't give him $55 million guaranteed, but I'd be a lot of incentive-ridden deals. You hit X amount of touchdown passes to interceptions, X amount of wins, X amount of yards, X amount of games started. It triggers different bonuses in the contract for a maximum a year. If every one of his bonuses is hit, he would get $18 million, which would put him in the middle of the pack of starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, I think the base should be closer to $7-8 million. So the guarantees would be like 3 years, $24 million. But I wouldn't even guarantee it that way. I would do 1 year team option for year 2 and a Geno option for year 3. It's a low-risk deal. It's a deal that can make Geno Smith a whole lot of money if he produces in results that he is going to set for himself. And if he doesn't do it, we're not on the hook for much, but he still gets paid a little bit, $8 million a year, which is 8 times what he's making this year. But I want to ask you guys here, Sports on Tap Seattle fans, what would you do? Do you like incentive-ridden deal? Would you franchise tag him? Would you make it a 1 year big deal? What would you do with Geno Smith if he continues to play like this the rest of the season?